So, your boy, the man, NJ to the City, reporting for NJ to the City News. Let's continue the conversation, if not just started to begin with. So, once again, women and girls in sports. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it. Once again, shout out, God bless my niece, Lady Panthers, who I think just beat Fletcher yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Either that or they just played. Either that or they just played them. One of those two. I think they beat him yesterday because today's Saturday and yesterday was Friday. They was playing a Fletcher, but get into a point here because uh, the WNBA draft is coming up, and I know a lot of people, like let alone a lot of people, do not give two flying f's about the WNBA draft. How do I know this? Because I do too much research, and/or because you can literally look it up everywhere you look. Not too many people give a crap about the WNBA, which is a dying, crying shame because college basketball is filled with just too many talented women. Too many. I mean, I literally can name quite a few. Guys, they have a really good crush on quite a few. Stanford team, let's go and start with them since they just won the national championship. You got Haley Jones, you got the Hull sisters, Hull, by the way. The Hull sisters. You got Russell Wilson's sister. You have Steph Curry's god sister, if I'm not mistaken, Cameron Brink. You got plethora of talented young women who play college basketball. And then I just thought about this 2 minutes ago. How am I forgetting to mention any of my Florida Gators? Even though I haven't studied their roster like that, you have the obvious. I forgot her last name. It's amazing. Her first name makes me want to say Palmer, as in Kiki Palmer. That's what her first name inspires me to just go and say Kiki Palmer, even though I barely could pronounce that. But yeah, her first name is Kiki, or at least that's her nickname, Kiki. And yeah, her first name inspires me to say Kiki Palmer. Off of True Jackson VP, that Nickelodeon show from way back in the day. So yeah. But yeah, I forgot her last name, but I know her first name is Kiki, or that's her nickname, Kiki. I think her first name is Kiara, but they call her Kiki, if I'm not mistaken. And then my favorite, Lavender Briggs from Utah. You heard it right. Lavender Briggs from Utah. And then let's go over to Georgia, and you got Jenna Stady. Then you go over to Ole Miss, and you got Shakira Austin. And then you go over to, so many programs I can name, let alone the powerhouse that Miss Dawn Staley has continuously been building. Asia Wilson's actually in the WNBA currently. Asia Durr, who's currently in the WNBA. Asia Durr came from Louisville. My friend Camille Hobby, Nice alumni, Nice Royal, who played Nice girls basketball with us, who's currently a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken, at NC State. And I can't get through this video without saying a few Tennessee's players because oh my goodness, it's like I know so many names. It's like I'm trying to make sure I get as many of them out as possible. Look up one of my favorites, Ray Burrell. Love you, girl. You literally remind me of your predecessor, Andrea Carter. You remind me of her a lot. Ray Burrell. And then I cannot get past this video without also saying Chelsea Dungy from Arkansas. Love that girl. She's phenomenal. There's a couple other people on Tennessee roster, and I'm like, even though, the last name I just mentioned goes to Arkansas. But I noticed a couple more on Tennessee's roster, and I'm like, come on, Nate, you cannot forget some of the other people, even though I think I already did. Or at least in terms of their names, I know who they are. I just forgot their names. There's so many people. I study this stuff. Been studying it for years. But I guess, again, the Grand Valley Point, shout out Grand Valley University. I'm gonna make a few songs for them to promote their university eventually. The Grand Valley Point, ladies and gentlemen, is there's so many talented dual threat women athletes on this planet, let alone the United States of America. So take pride in where you come from and take pride in getting to the next level with honor, integrity, and dignity. But other than that, it's just the fact being, there's just so many talented ones. By the way, God bless Kaya Turner, Nice alumni, Nice royalty, who currently plays at Stetson University. Literally, God knows how many people I can keep naming. It's just so many. but there's just too many, and I want people to understand. I just tweeted out, and I'll probably post a tweet on my Instagram or something. Women's athletics can be so much bigger if we just worked harder at it. You know, like if you were to ask me, there's almost no excuse for why these women have to go overseas to make even half of what the men make. If you were to personally ask me, now that's not to bash men versus women whatsoever. That's just telling you the economics of both leagues, and so on. But it really shouldn't be that way. They should not have to go overseas to make a couple million, and then over here in the United States get paid, I think, crumbs, or get paid either more or less than a teacher's salary, depending on what state you live in. They shouldn't have to do that. If you were to personally ask me, I think the WNBA is, you really can look up everything I've said about this. I got other videos on this channel. I got my Twitter. I tweet about it from time to time. Look it up, ladies and gentlemen, because, I'm all God first forward in terms of, the most cohesiveness and coherent conversations that we can have on this, because I want to promote these leagues. I ain't gonna lie, one of the only reasons why I want to promote them is because in order for me to start up my own, I'm pretty sure it's gonna take the next 10, 20 years. And until I can afford to do that, let me just go and promote the leagues that are already there. They're struggling, but they're already there. And I want people to understand, especially, and I tweeted this out, it really is not rocket science. Just study college athletics, study women's college basketball, and I mean it when I say this. If the WNBA just puts at least 2, if not 3 teams in every booming college city, I promise you that income will naturally come through the door, especially if you're drafting, some of those same college players in to those pro teams that are right there in their state. I'm telling you, that will be massive. If you were to personally ask me, it's really not hard. I mean, you can just take a page from the college playbook. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. It's definitely probably the best thing the WNBA, softball, and more can do. Just take a few pages from the college playbooks. If you do that, I'm telling you, you will be successful. You will build mountains, or you will move mountains, and you'll build move mountains, break rocks, and you'll build empires. And again, you can go back on my Twitter last year around the same time, and I literally said the same thing. If the WNBA did that, I'm pretty sure the WNBA would be a lot more successful now than what they've ever been. Because I can tell you, it's not hard to flip a profit, or at least in my humble opinion, it's not hard to flip a profit with anything. You just have to know who your consumers are and know what they want from you. And then you have to think like the everyday average consumer and give people quality goods at quality prices. And I want people to understand this. Now, and it just reminded me, girls can dunk, is just few and far between ever do. The girl named, I want to say Francesca, but I don't think that's her actual name. I think it is Francesca Bellaby, something like that, who plays for Stanford. Look her up. She did a couple dunks. This past season. Look her up. Now, obviously, you don't see them doing all the tricks and yada yada as the guys do, but a couple of them do dunk. And I ain't gonna lie, while watching the previous women's basketball season, I'm studying these women, and I'm like, most of you, if not a certain percentage of you, are like 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". I want to say 6'7" as well, but you get the point. You're of those heights. I think a lot of these girls can dunk more. They just don't try. I don't know why. They just don't try. But they can dunk more. But you have to also understand, ladies and gentlemen, basketball definitely, like Brown or Stewart said, is more than dunking. If you can dunk, congratulations. Keep doing it. But if you can't dunk, you should learn how to try to appreciate some of these women for their other skills and talents. And if you watch women's college basketball, let alone any women's college sports, you'll totally see what I see if you're looking at it with an eyes wide open point of view. A lot of these women can do extraordinary things on and off the ball, on and off the dribble. They can crash the boards in the paint. They can do their job effectively. Now, I do think some of them need to start dunking more, because that would be a lot better if you were to personally ask me. But, definitely depends on what fits the scheme, fits the playbook, fits the court awareness that you're in, whatever you want to call it. I do believe that WNBA can get better. I do believe that softball, lacrosse, you name it, these sports, these leagues can get better. And I just think they have to work on marketing. And your boy, the man, NJ to the city, by God's grace, as I continuously go around, do my travels, have my conversations, that's what I'm going to help all these leagues do, whether they acknowledge it or not. Similar to what I put in my song title, Leave It Up to Me. The game is mine, whether you want to acknowledge me or not. I'm going to help these brands, establish more firm grassroots bases in these communities, whether they accept me or not, or acknowledge me or not. But the WNBA definitely won't have a dang choice but to, because, the people that I'm going to, bring up to their pipeline are all going to be saying, NJ to the city brought me here. So, they're not going to have a choice, and so on, because I think anybody can create another league right now and just blow WNBA and a few others out of the water. But until any of that happens, let's try to build with them as we can and try to help them establish better grassroots. Because no offense to the WNBA's commissioner, but I got this gut feeling. Get a male commissioner in there. Get anybody, literally. And or get, what's the guy's name? I want to say Derek Fisher. Get him in there. Get Derek Fisher, or get I want to say Steve Nash, but he's coaching Brooklyn right now. What's that other guy's name? I forgot his name, and it's dumb. I forgot his name. He was Brooklyn's first coach when they moved from Jersey to Brooklyn. Get that guy in there. I forgot his name, but get him in there. Get him or get Derek Fisher. Get somebody in there that gets it. Get someone in there that hopefully wants it, and get someone in there that will, like I say, establish these community foundations so the WNBA, let alone any league, can truly get off the ground and can truly be universally supported and accepted amongst people. Because it ain't rocket science. It just takes that work. And if you're not willing to put in the work in, you won't get any profit. And ladies, you have to understand, it's more than just play on the field that people want to see. People, dare I say, your stories need to be marketed. Your gear needs to be promoted. A bunch of other things that I can name that I name there. But it all needs to come together in a cool and easy collective. Because I can assure you, people want to support you. You're all somebody's daughter. You all have parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, you name it. People want to support you, let alone other people outside of your immediate family. People want to support you, if you were to ask me. But it's like we either don't know how, or we're looking for the outlets on how, or whatever the case could be. And I just think that if these leagues do a better job at giving the outside audiences more to look into with supporting you, I think the leagues might do a way better job, if you were the person to ask me. But you have to have people, dare I say, visionaries in there who know what they're doing with the marketing, with the promotion, with the grassroots basis. If they don't know what they're doing, then you'll never be successful at it and or flip a profit. Because I'm telling you, you can't put a team in New York and not know what the New York market demands of you. Because I literally done my research, and too many leagues have tried to put teams in New York but don't know what the New York market demands of you. If the sport is not popular in New York, you have to make it popular or don't go to New York. Because what's the point in going to New York for 2 or 3 years, if you're lucky 3 years, because a lot of these New York teams seem to be, dumping all their assets or dumping their losses, after the second year. You can't go to the New York market and not know what the New York market demands of you. You have to bring something riveting, exciting, thrilling. It's like what Eric Dickerson said about LA. You can't come to LA and go 2-14, 4-12. There's too many things to do. Too many things to do. You have to come here and put a winning product on the field, and godly be the talk of the town, and for all the positive reasons. You have to put a Hollywood blockbuster out there every week. A competitive Hollywood blockbuster out there every week. And if not every week, at least 3 out of 5, where people, feel interested. They want to come out there and play. They want to go out there and support the team, and they want to be interested in what's going on in the, surrounding environments. At least if you were the person to ask me, that's how it goes. And I think if the leagues and teams understand that math and those philosophies, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, the leagues will be more successful. And I look forward to doing God first, whatever I can, to not only further the conversation, but help these leagues build up from the grassroots from the neck up, and we'll just see where everything goes. So your boy, the man, NJ to the city. I'm dropping so much more coming soon. Take care. Peace. Thank you for everything. God bless.